Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for joining this special presentation on Snap-on's Autumn 2023 software release. We'll help you make faster work out of every automotive mystery. Our software keeps getting better each release. We have additional features to help you make your day more productive. We grow our software to ensure you have coverage for the vehicles you see most frequently. We have significant growth in repair data, greater depth and coverage of systems and secure gateway access, and new systems and tests are added to ensure you can carry out and finish the complete job in-house. So our coverage just keeps growing. Look at this growth over the last 2 years. System coverage across all of the manufacturers we cover, 21% increase in different systems, 30% increase in PID numbers coverage. So we have 30% more PIDs than we had 2 years ago, and 16% more functional tests than we ever had in the last 2 years as well. So that is a large, substantial amount of growth over the last 2 years. And also SureTrack growth, our experience-based information. It is really the secret sauce. It includes data from over 2.65 billion real-world repairs. It has commonly replaced parts graphs based on code and mileage, has professional technicians that author SureTrack real fixes and fixed-it tips. We have community fixes from SureTrack community members, and all of this is important to you as a user, so it adds real-world experience to OEM-level data, and it also helps to diagnose and fix problems faster and correctly the first time based on what other users have done. So we've also implemented some quality of life changes into the tool. So on the previous release, we would have just an article. So we can see we have a simple article up here. And then now with the current release, which we call 23.4, fourth quarter of 2023, we can see we've now added images. So over here on the right-hand side, we can see there was a map sensor wiring issue, and we can now see that it was fixed, or that may have been the issue right there. Because some of you, may be visual learners, maybe it's just easier to see a problem rather than describe it verbally. So we have these new pictures that have been added to some of these articles, and of course more moving forward. All right, so let's talk about Security Link. You need a scan tool manufacturer that can unlock the key to multiple automotive manufacturers, because they do have those security functions laid out in the software. So Snap-on has the key to do that. Get into these secure gateways on Ford, Nissan, Fiat, Chrysler, Alfa Romeo, Jeep, and Dodge. Make sure you're on Snap-on's latest software in order to access and conquer every question that comes your way. How about Fast Track Intelligent Diagnostics? On those tools that support it, Apollos, Triton, Zeus, real fix content added from repair orders. Each new tip is now viewable as real fix content. Fixed-it content. Each fixed-it represents a repeat repair made, such as replacing a mass airflow sensor for a P0101 code. This is shown next to the real fix tip, indicating how many times the component repair or replacement fixed that code or codes seen in the real fix. We can see that on the right-hand side of that column there with the fixed-it number. As well as with the smart data, additional PID flags. We process more scanner data and added to our knowledge of normal operating PID ranges. These normal operating ranges power PID flags in the Intelligent Diagnostics Smart Data PID card. Also added to Zeus Plus only, this is a enhanced battery indicator. So this is not the battery of the vehicle, this is the battery of the tool. So we can see the status. Is it charging? Is it fully charged? What is the level of the state of charge when it's off the charger? So we can see it visually on the screen there. You can see with the arrow. And as well as when we tap on that, or if we click on that, it brings us into the Windows battery management software. So we can talk about battery saver and what the actual physical battery level is within Windows. So just another nice quality of life enhancement. Once again, that is Zeus Plus only. Now let's get into vehicle coverage enhancements, because that's really where the rubber hits the road, so to speak. So starting off, 2023 code scan and clear. So all manufacturers that are covered within the software have at least the ability of code scan and clear. And it is all of them that have 2023 model years available. Some of your older models that haven't made vehicles in a few years, of course, they wouldn't be supported, but this is the majority of the vehicles that are in the tool. And then also, as far as full coverage, full access to engine, transmission, body modules, you name it, 2023 model year for all of the manufacturers listed here. So there's really only a couple of manufacturers that don't have that additional coverage with the engine and transmission. And those, of course, will be added on the next update, those ones that didn't make it. But as you can see, the majority of them already have this full coverage that you would come to expect from Snap-on for the 2023 model year. So let's talk about Alfa Romeo. We'll go kind of alphabetically and we'll give you some highlights here. Now, Alfa Romeo has a brand new vehicle. Now, according to Wikipedia anyways, this is the first all-new model that Alfa Romeo has released in 6 years. So it's the Tonale, and there's 30 new systems that are covered for this vehicle. Some examples like the ECM, so clutch pedal relearn, reset adaptives, and more. Transmission control, self-adaptations, body control modules such as key programming, key fob synchronization, and adaptive cruise control, as well as proxy alignment, which is needed anytime you replace a module on many of these vehicles. BMW, new system added to all engines covered from 2015 to 2023, a service history function. So now the technicians can write the service history to the vehicle through the iDrive system. Now the customer will need to register and upload the service record to the BMW system, but otherwise the history written can be wiped if the OEM tool is connected as well. Also, actuators and special functions added to X5, air mass meter adaptation, rail pressure regulation, valve adaptation, and battery management system improvements have been made to the 1 Series, 2 Series, 3 Series, and X1, as you can see them listed here, model year ranges, all the way back to 2016 on those. And oh, by the way, I figured I'd mention here, on that X5 with the actuator and special functions, that goes all the way back to 2007 model year. So some folks say, well, why do I need a software update if I'm not working on brand new vehicles? These are some examples of why. We're talking 5, 6, 7, 8 years backwards or more that we have coverage, add additional, especially in this example. How about Fords? So actuators and special functions have been added for 9 different modules: the EcoSport, the Fiesta, Focus, Mondeo, S-Max, and Galaxy, as well as the Transit series, anything pretty much 2019 and up. So previously, those were not accessible due to security access for the special functions, but we do provide that now. So we have additional depth for the Ford 16-bit security. Now, competitors struggle in this area, and we are able to extend this to you, our Snap-on customers, with those Ford models. Also includes DPF and SCR, AdBlue functions as well on those vehicles. So I know that's been a sticking point for a little while, but we do have that access through Ford secured functions. Once again, Wi-Fi needs to be enabled on the tool, and there needs to be current software on the tool. That is from Ford, not necessarily a Snap-on mandate, but a Ford mandate. Kia, new model, all new model electric vehicle, the Kia Niro. 2022 and newer. 46 systems covered, including actuators and special functions. For example, battery management system. And some of the special functions include state of charge calibration for the 12-volt battery, also on the electric battery, state of charge, state of health, and isolated breakdown or isolation breakdown detection function as well. Nissan, new model, the Ariya, 2022 and newer as well. That's another electric vehicle. 23 systems with codes, data, and special functions. And then also the Qashqai, Primastar, Townstar, and the Townstar Electric with special functions there added as well. So pretty good growth there in Nissan. Citroen, so a new model once again, eSpace Tourer 2020 to 2023, actuators, special functions added. Also the BSI operating mode on 2018 to 22 models. You can see them listed here from the C3 down to the Berlingo. And a new special function on the C4 Cactus, all engines 14 to 17, and Nemo, all engines, all affected years. There's additional functional tests added to that, as well as actuators and special functions on new systems in 2015 to 23 as well. Peugeot, BSI operating mode, special functions again on all of those covered modules. Actuators and special functions for the e-Traveler on all applicable engines. And special functions on the 308, all engines 2021 and newer, the vehicle distance assistance. That is an ADAS function, so that is for the radar cruise control. Also, the systems ION on all engines 2015 to 2023 with actuators and special functions, including the steering wheel angle sensor. On Renault, special functional tests for the Traffic 3 1.6 diesel, special functional tests added to Funmaster, special 37 functional tests for the Kadjar 1.6 diesel, and special functional tests for the Scenic 1.6 liter diesel have been added for those as well. Toyota, once again, a new electric vehicle. So the BX4X electric 2023, 39 systems with actuators and special functions. Also the Corolla Cross 1.8 liter, Prius plug-in 2 liter, and model year update for the Corolla 1.8 and 2 liter engines. Also new variants available for coverage for the Pro Ace and the Pro Ace City Electric. 42 systems, including actuators and special functional tests on those as well. Getting to VAG, so Volkswagen Audi Group. New systems, the battery energy control module, that's an electric vehicle function, 2016 and newer, with actuators for 6 different models. New system brake electronics with actuators and special functions as well. Brake bleed available on 11 different models from 2020 and up. Parking assist, 2020 and newer. Steering wheel electronics, actuators and special functions as well. Audi Q4 e-tron, all engines 2021 and up. Also the powertrain on the e-tron RS, 2020 and up. And 2 systems added with actuators and special functions for all engines on 2018 and newer. So a lot of enhancements with VAG there as well. And then Volvo, new systems on the XC60 2.0, 2023 with special functional tests added. New powertrain with special functional tests for the XC60 as well. Engine with special functional tests for 4 models, and engine special functional tests for the 2023 XC40. So there is a wealth of information. We can't really fit it all on some of these slides. It'd be really hard to read. So there is a wealth of information added to these additional models. Now let's talk about another function in the tool that I guess maybe doesn't necessarily get a lot of love, but the guided component test functions. This is very, very helpful for you as a technician being able to pinpoint and verify problems with components on vehicles. So what is guided component test and how does it help? So this will be available on any tool with the lab scope function available. So your Zeus, your Verus, your Tritons, your Moduses and such of that nature. So it gives us operation, location, connector views, tech notes, and between 1 and 6 testing methods for a component, which also helps us to avoid unnecessary parts replacement. If I'm testing and verifying the component, I can verify that I do need to, in fact, replace that part, which helps prevent comebacks. So we don't want that customer coming back with the same problem, which in turn also helps us prevent the loss of a customer. Because if I can't fix it right the first time, then maybe that customer goes down the street and gets it fixed somewhere else. In that case, they may not come back to your shop. They may just go to that shop in the future. Overall, that could also help us attract new customers if you become the shop in town where all the customers come and you have, you can fix it right the first time. And then overall, that's going to help improve the shop's profitability overall. And no matter where you work in a shop, I think it's good to have a profitable shop because that's just going to help everybody involved. So within guided component tests, it's going to give us information on how to hook it up, where to hook it up, and what it should look like on the screen. It does the vast majority of the work for you. It's going to automatically set it up. You don't need to remember settings, how to set up a scope. If it's a new component you've never experienced, it's going to give you all that information there. And over the years, as we talked about growth in the vehicle communication side, we also have massive growth in guided component tests as well. So over the last 2 years, over 400,000 new tests available in Engine over the different systems. And also don't forget, there's over 70 topic-based training courses inside the tool itself. And there's also a whole new section inside the tool for high voltage testing. So that's for EVs as well as electric vehicles. Also added earlier in this year in our spring release, but now in the autumn release as well, we have new image resizing and watermarking. So you're going to notice the watermarks right away. We did start adding larger sized images because we realized on the newer screens, higher resolution, they didn't necessarily scale up as we wanted them to. So we made them a bit larger, easier to read, easier to see. And also, as it say, the Fast Track Intelligent Diagnostics logo watermark across the board just kind of emphasizes that as it is an exclusive to Snap-on. Always make sure the best way to keep up to date on all this information, including security link information, is to keep your product subscribed. So you can see on the screen, intelligent diagnostic tools, what you gain and what you lose if you don't have a software subscription. And then our other Wi-Fi enabled products such as Verus, Modus, and Solus. all of those tools would also lose the TSBs, the sure track information, and the Snap-on Cloud and the security link. That's probably one of the biggest ones. Is if you're not up to date, you won't be able to even access functions on certain vehicles anymore. And that's, as I said, straight from the OEM, will not allow that if you don't have current software. Best way to do it is to keep your product subscribed. So why do you need to be on software subscription? Well, Snap-on software subscription customers really stay on top. They save money, and they also help earn more money because they can do more functions with the tool. You'll consistently enhance your coverage year-round and get the best out of your scan tool. It's going to boost profitability and save time by always having the latest coverage at your fingertips. Automatic software renewals and service updates, so you'll always have the latest and greatest on your tool. It also offers an annual discount over standard upgrade purchases. It is the least expensive option versus buying 2 new software updates every year. And it also offers affordable payments to help you stay current on your software as well over the course of that year. So now let's walk through live. I have 2 tools here in front of me. I have one on the spring release and I have one on the fall release. And let's look at some differences between the 2 releases as to what we'll see. All right, so I have on my screen the tool with the spring release. We can see 23.2 right there. That indicates that it was a release back in the spring. And I have a 2021 Hyundai Tucson loaded in here. So let's pop into the scanner real quick and see what we can see. So we can see code scan, clear all codes, of course, their engine, transmission. Now, what I want to show is we added the SCR system for the AdBlue system, and that would normally be down here kind of towards the bottom under engine-related systems. And we see it goes from doors and windows to heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. So in between there is where that would normally be. So let me switch over to the other tool. And now we are here on the fall release. We see it says 23.4. That indicates that it's the fall release on the tool. We have the same Hyundai Tucson loaded in there. And we can see we have engine, transmission, of course. And if I just scroll down here, we see we have engine-related systems and controls in the diesel. So we can go into the selective catalyst reduction system now. So this is a whole new system that we didn't have prior to this. We can go into, say, system tests, and we have initialization of learning values. So that's going to be for the SCR. And we can see we have a urea pump pressure value, solution injector temperature, initialization of remaining solution, pump coils, etc. So we can see all these different initializations that can now be done with this. And of course, I'm on a simulator, so sometimes I might get errors because I'm not hooked to a vehicle. If we go into functional tests as well, we can see there's an identifier for the urea dosing valve, signal test for the heater actuator, and line heater actuator. So these are factory functional tests available for the SCR system. We can also go back in here. If I back up a bit, we can see there's also codes available, data available as well. So we can see the different temperatures as well, exhaust gas, concentration percentages, and what have you. So this is all brand spanking new with that autumn release with this Hyundai. So let's go to, all right, so let's load up my next one, which is going to be this Peugeot 308. I'll activate that. While I'm doing that, I'll activate it on this one. All right, so I have my Peugeot 308 in here. It's a 2021. And if I go into scanner, we're going to go in and check for the ADAS system. So this is going to be another ADAS function that was added. So let's just go to the default list here. And ADAS and driver aids, we would see down here, we have corner radars, multifunction cameras, parking aids, vehicle distance assistance in here. If we go into our other scanner, though, should we go into vehicle distance assistance? First, we see we have codes and data. We don't have any functional tests. We don't have any special functions available within that module. So one of the additions in the autumn release. Same Peugeot. And we'll just go to the default list. We'll come down here to the vehicle distance assistance again. And then we see now, instead of codes and data, we also have functional tests available. So if I go into functional tests, there are special functions, and this is where we'd be able to initialize that system. So we go into initialization. We have a front radar static alignment, which is going to be with the vehicle stationary in the bay. We also have a dynamic alignment that can be done, and a dynamic alignment of the radars positioned in the bumper. So that'd be rear cross traffic, for example. So once again, additional special functions added. Now I can reinitialize these systems if need be. All right. And next one we'll do Mazda CX-5. So in this case, this is a 2017 Mazda CX-5. Just going to go through, and this one we will talk about our fuel injectors. So if we go into engine, and that should be under service functions, right? We see we do have a fair number of service functions on this vehicle: diesel particulate filter regeneration, turbocharger initialization, etc. In there, we also do have injector data reset, but we do not have, which would be injector coding. So injector coding is used when I replace those different, when I replace a different fuel injector on that vehicle. We need to go in and we need to actually do coding on this. So if I go back, so once again, this is 2017 CX-5 on my updated tool, and we go into service functions, and we see the very first service function there is injector coding. So if I were to go into injector coding, it's to carry out for the fuel injection correction factors. So we'll carry out this procedure if one or more fuel injectors has been fitted. So we'll continue. And it says we'll use the 30-digit code on the injector body to program the injector. So there'll be a code listed on the new fuel injector that'll allow us to do this. So the only characters that can be used are 0 to 9, A, B, C, D, E, and F. So don't confuse the following 8 and D and 0, etc. Just make sure you're reading it properly. Then it's going to list the injectors on the vehicle, and we'll select the new one to program. So we can come in here. Cylinder number 1 is located on the timing chain or belt side of the engine. Cylinder 4 is located on the flywheel side. So we can come in here, hit continue, and then we can see the 4 different injectors, ID 1 through ID 4. And then there's my ID numbers. If I wanted to edit, say, number 1, I could go in here. It's going to be 3 blocks of data I would need to punch in based on what's on the injector itself. We'll just hit OK when we're done. It's going to say, okay, here's the old ID, here's the new ID. We would verify that it's correct, and it's 30 digits, so make sure you get it right. Then we hit program, and then it'll say it's successful, and then to exit, we can just simply hit OK, and that would bring us back. Now, so once again, since we're not on a live vehicle, we're just going to sit on the screen. All right, so that's another example. Let's do, we have a couple more here. Let me flip back over here. All right, so we can go into our Ford Focus. And it's a 2019 Focus and 1.6 liter petrol engine. And in this case, we have added functions to the body control module. So if we can go into body controls, we go to body control module, and it is going to go in. We have codes, data, functional tests. We go into actuator tests. We see we have a fair amount of actuator tests in there. So there's quite a few actuator tests in there. These are going to be your turn things on, turn things off type tests, right? So we have those available as functional tests in there. But if we go and load that vehicle on the other tool, so you can flip over to scanner on this side, and we can see that's going to give us our BCM functions. We can scroll down here. So we get to our body controls. We get the body control module. It's going to load in here. We have a multitude of different BCMs that covered now. And then if we go into functional tests, we see instead of just actuator tests, we also have service functions available. So on the service functions, we have, for example, an on-demand self-test, which will just self-test the unit. LIN new module initialization. So when I add a new module or replace one, I may need to do a relearn on the LIN bus. Reset the battery monitor system learn values, reset the body control module itself. Also tire pressure monitor. So we couldn't program tire pressure monitor previous, and now we can. So we have TPMS training mode, which does require a sensor activation tool to go around and hit all the tires. But now that is available. And this is, like I said, on a 2019 Ford Focus. That's a 3 or 4 year old vehicle at this point. So adding that backfill information, once again, very helpful, very powerful when it comes to keeping your software up to date. And then the last one I will show is I'm only going to be able to show this on the current tool because this is an all new model for this this update. So that is the Alfa Romeo Tonale. So I can hop in here in the scanner and we can see what are we going to be able to see on this all new vehicle. Now, the first thing you're going to see is it's failed to start a security link session because this tool that I have in front of me is not registered with AutoAuth in Europe. So, or through FCA Europe, sorry, because that's how it is over through Stellantis, right? So if the error persists, go to techinformation.fiat.com. So it's all the Fiat, Stellantis, what have you, vehicles there. But if I hit continue, since I'm in a simulator, it's going to unlock it for me. And then we can see through here that everything would be available. But since this is an alpha, once again, you would need that security link registration there. So engine management, ABS, transmission, ADAS, adaptive cruise control, haptic lane feedback. There's a proxy alignment for the body control modules, motor control processor, secure gateways in there again, doors and windows, HVAC, accessories, instrument panel, adaptive front lighting, service interval resets, electric power steering. All of these modules are now available to you on these 2023 Alfa Romeo Tonales. And it's a brand new vehicle, brand new model for Alfa for 2023. So definitely exciting to have that in there. And if you ever see one of those come in your shop, well, there you go. You will have full access to those vehicles. Like we said, some shops out there may need that access to this current model year vehicle that's out there. And it's exciting that we do have that and that is available. All right. So that is my hands on the tool. Now let's talk about a few other things. Questions, for one. If you have questions, you can always, of course, refer to your Snap-on rep. If you're watching this on YouTube, you could also add a comment underneath the video for add questions, and we do check those periodically, so hopefully we can help you out with those. Also, there is available training and support. So if there are questions that you may have, you can go down to, you can do the product support and also in-person training. We do have representatives that go around and do in-person training. There's also, of course, on-tool training videos, informative email content that you will get through your usual email address as long as it's registered. Also, there's self-paced module training available on the website and also on the YouTube channel. We've begun posting some of my videos. Some of my more in-depth system-based training videos are available on the YouTube channel as well. So definitely make sure you check those out. Also, if you want to know more content, because as I said, it's a lot of information to fit in this short presentation. So there is an online vehicle coverage guide that's available. You can scan the QR code that's on the screen there in order to access that. You can also access it through our website as well. And you can search through different software features, what's new. And you can also search by make, model, and year to see what full coverage that's available in your Snap-on software. And you will truly be amazed there. So with that, we want to, as we said, help make faster work of every automotive mystery. Hopefully we've demystified some of those things that have been added to the software with this autumn release. Hopefully you'll join me again for one of our training classes that we have on our YouTube channel. And with that, enjoy the rest of your day, whatever time of day it might be. Enjoy your evening, enjoy your weekend, whatever it happens to be. Have a good night and take care.